So, let's see. So this guy, I probably could have done a little bit better by painting this a black color, but or priming it a black color, but that's okay. I did so with some of my others, the ones that I just primed this morning. I did in black, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna go with Corvus Black on the outside for these guys. So, there we go. Let's see. A little bit. Oh, got a little bit of dried. Oh, that's thickened up quite a bit. That's okay. I'll manage. Just a little bit on there. Don't need a ton, I don't think. And then a couple drops of some speed paint. There we go. Alright, so let's get this just a little bit. I don't think I need more than that for right now. Oh, did I drop something? Yeah, I did. That's fine. It's just speed paint medium. Basically plastic. Alright, let's get that to the consistency I want it. About. Might need a little bit more of the actual Corvus Black. This looks like it's sort of there. Melted ice cream is what they told me was the best way to do this, but who knows? Maybe that'll work. Melted ice cream, basically. Okay, there we go. Alright, cool. So, I am going to start this Skitarii guy right here. This is obviously a proxy that I printed. But we're going to go with sort of a Necron look to them because they've got the sort of Necron look to them. These are supposed to be Zenerite Skitarii, so they're a type of Skitarii that, or a type of Mechanicus cultist who, the Zenerites are a type of Mechanicus cultist who believe in using, researching, and harnessing the technology of Xenos. So that is a perfect fit for a more like dark look for them. Not going like dark mech, dark Mechanicus, or dark Mechanicum, but more of like a dark color scheme to them. So I'll probably do like a lot of like black and green to make them look Necron-ish, or like they're using Necron tech. You can almost see, you know, obviously, like that looks like a Necron device for the power pack. And it's still got, you know, like the staples of the Mechanicus, but it has a little bit more of a Xenos bent to it. So I'll just get a nice dark coloring on the outside of this guy. I keep telling myself I really should do this in sub-assemblies, especially with like Skitarii and Mechanicus units, but it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, end of the day, I can touch up things, it'll be fine. It's not a big deal. Like, I always, it makes me happy to build the models first. And so I don't do the sub-assemblies, despite the fact that I probably should, especially for Skitarii and Mechanicus units, with all the trim and the stuff that they need, all the gubbins everywhere. But that's okay. Not a big deal. Like, end of the day, it's not going to make that big a difference. difference. I think it'll look fine. Okay, so that's the first coat on there that I'll leave alone for now. So let's get a little bit more on the sleeves. And then the hood, and really that should probably do it. I don't think I need to do too much more. So the goal here is that I'm going to work on testing some paint schemes for a couple different units. So obviously there's this Xenarite here who's going to have like a dark black cloak color. Oh, I should have dusted off this model. I see some crap here that got stuck. Hang on. Let me see if I can just get it off with my brush. I definitely should have brushed this model off. That's okay though. No big deal. Anything that needs to be fixed, I can do later. Okay. So, a little bit of black on there. I'll do the inside, and then the hood. Let's do the hood first. Get that colored in. Could probably thicken up this paint a little bit more too, but I'll take care of that after. Need to not clutch up. I keep telling myself don't clutch up. There we go. And obviously the Corvus black is like a lighter black, like a dark gray almost. So we're gonna darken it a little bit further later. And I think once the second coat goes on, it'll look a little bit darker. But I don't want it like a pitch black, because so for example, you can see that these guys that I primed in black this morning have a much darker look to them. I don't want that dark. I'm actually going to have to brighten these guys a little bit probably, but that's the only black that I have. I think it's a Chaos black. So with these guys, honestly starting them off at like a slightly lighter black will help. And then, there we go. Yeah, see it's... I definitely could probably thicken this paint up just a wee bit. There's a little bit of... There we go. Yep. For the next batch, I'm gonna brush off the models with my dry brush just to get all the dust off them. Because these have been sitting for a couple days, so there's a little bit of lint and other stuff. You can probably see it through the camera, honestly, like the reflection. Well, no, actually you can't. But let's get that second coat on. Nice thing is acrylic paints, these dry super quickly, even with the cold rain outside. It's a nice rainy day. I actually really like rainy days, so long as I don't have to be out in it. Rainy days are kind of my favorite. So, okay. So, I think we'll go with like a canoptic alloy look to the metal. Speaking of which, do I have it? I was going to go with like a warp block bronze, which is like a darker metal, but I think I'm probably better off going with like canoptic alloy, which is right here. I'll do that after, but that'll basically go on all of the metal bits. I think it'll give like a nice contrast. You can see that this canoptic alloy, it's more of like a lighter brass color to it. So, there we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to give the eyes a green, the backpack area in there a green, and then the rest of it will probably just get the canoptic alloy, which actually makes this a pretty simple paint scheme. right? We'll see once I get down to it. But this guy was done with a brass color. So this Skitarii Marshal here was done with like a brass color. So I still haven't painted all his details, but that was the basic color scheme I was going for. So with this one, we're going to do a much darker look to it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the gun just yet. Right, these I think they call them like this isn't a radium rifle, it's called something else, but Skitarii carry them. But let's go with, I'm gonna do canoptic alloy over most of the face, and then warp block bronze in the eye lenses. No, not warp block bronze. Warp lightning in the eye lenses. Warp lightning in the recesses here to give it that glow effect. Warp lightning here. Basically, any of the glowy bits are going to get a little bit of a more Necron glow look to them. So, I think for the most part that means that this has dried. So, let's just get a little bit more on here. Now, most of my Skitarii are not getting this Zenerite color scheme. Only obviously my Zenerites are. And I have, I think, 10 Zenerites that I printed for this purpose. Just to make them stand out a little bit. I'll use them as a stand-in probably for Vanguard, Skitarii Vanguard. But yeah. So, let's get that going. Yeah, now it's darkening down. You can kind of see, right, like it definitely stands out more with this second coat, which I would be satisfied with. I don't want it to be like too far down into like that chaos black range. I think it would sort of like take away from the rest of the model if it just looks so dark that I can't really do much with it. So, just gonna get this all brought down in color. I do think this is too thin though, the paint. So let me get a little bit more. Just a little bit. Thicken that up just a wee bit more. There we go. Alright. Yeah, that gets a little bit better coverage. So, yeah, that coverage is a little bit better. But let me get down in there. I'll probably need a third coat to bring it down to the color that I want it. But I'll do that in a sec. I'll let this second coat dry. Get down in here. And then the hood. Yeah, the second coat definitely makes quite the difference in color. There we go. Alright. There we go. Yeah, that looks more like what I want. Once that dries, it'll look pretty good. Now, under the cape, I'm not going to do the entirety under the cape, because you won't be able to see it much anyway, and it's already primed like a grayish white color down there. There's no point. But I'm just going to get the edges so that if someone like turns over the model, they can see that it's painted down there. It doesn't need to be the cleanest job that we do, but I'll just do it for consistency's sake. There we go. And then around the edges here, just to make sure that's done. Alright, now he's looking good. Alright. Alright, cool. So, Canoptic alloy. I think it'll stand out fine. I'm overthinking it. Oh, this doesn't have a mixing ball in it. I dropped. Oh, it's Seraphim Sepia. Well, I'm glad that didn't pop open and spill everywhere. I need a mixing ball for this, especially for these metallics. And I just dropped it again. And I dropped the whole ton of shit. Okay. Well, that's great. Give me a sec. Just dropped some water too. So, that's awesome. Do I have a towel in here? Yep. Ah! Great. Love it. Just awesome. And that is why I shouldn't set my paints right on the edge here. Guess I should be glad that it didn't spill like a ton of stuff. Oh well, that's okay. Okay, so get over here. You sit there. Okay. Great, love it. Just awesome. So glad that that happened. Alright, technical difficulties. Guess I should be glad it was just water. But we'll take care of the rest of that later. Just gotta make sure I get the water up. I don't want that seeping into the floorboards. Okay. There. That should do the trick. There. Okay. Well, we'll leave that there to dry back down. Okay. So, where was I? A little bit of tea. Iced tea. And let's get this guy going. So, Canoptic alloy. I was thinking to myself, oh, I'll darken it with where did I put those mixing balls? Oh. Did I drop one in there? Nope, I put it right here. Mixing ball back down there. Okay. This is the first time I opened this Canoptic alloy. There we go. Okay, so just a little bit of it. I was thinking, as I was saying, that maybe I should darken it a bit, but I don't think I need to. It should be okay. Honestly, now that I'm seeing it out of there, it's like a warm steel color, like a classic Necron would look. So I shouldn't need to darken it. It should be fine. Now a little bit of speed paint medium. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. I think that's thin enough. Now, I'll probably switch to dry brushing just because, generally speaking, I prefer to dry brush metals. It's the look of them looks less like grainy or sparkly, you know, because they basically do this by putting like little iridescent flakes into the metals. That's how they achieve the metallic effect, and depending on the formulation or what you use to thin your paint, it can look kind of sparkly. And the best way to avoid that is just by dry brushing. So I'm gonna set this brush aside for a bit, and then I'll grab my tiny dry brush. Where that is. Ah, there it is. Alright. Try to wet the dry brush just a little bit. Get most of the water off, but wetting the bristles actually helps with coverage. You know, these are water-soluble paints after all. I don't want a ton of it. I know it seems like antithetical to say, oh, we're dry brushing and then wet the brush, but it kind of works out a little bit better for coverage. So let's get that dry brushed in. There we go. It's not as noticeable, though, I will say. This isn't what I was hoping for in terms of coloration. It's a little too transparent. Let's try it on the backpack. Well, okay, it's not actually all that bad. I think I just need to be more aggressive with my dry brushing. Yeah, I just need to be more aggressive with dry brushing. There we go. Yeah, you can see now it stands out a little bit better. And it doesn't get that grainy, sparkly look. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Okay, cool. And then once I toss some like Nuln Oil on there to darken it, I think that the color will stand out a little bit better. I just need to get the... Oh, did I get it on the... That's okay. It's no big deal. I don't see that big of a... I was going to say, oh god, I think I got it on the cloak, and I did get it on the cloak. I can see it, but that's okay. The third coat will cover that up just fine. Yeah. Good. Ooh! I guess I'm being a little too aggressive there. Alright. And obviously I try to buy like original GW plastic when I can, but honestly some of the 3D printed like proxies look so good. Like for example, this guy right here, This is a proxy for a servitor, a gun servitor, and I just think that looks way more ad mech than the original gun servitor does. And then, of course, here is just a normal combat servitor from that same proxy set. I just think that looks way more ad mech than even the original did. It's obviously still, just a servitor. You can see it, right? But it has a really cool look to it that I appreciate. So I think the only thing I would say about these guys right here is that they feel a little bit here. Let me see if I can focus in on it. Yeah, they do feel. I don't like the butcher's nails at the top. The butcher's nails, or they're not butcher's nails, probably, but they look like butcher's nails. That come out of the heads. A few of them have those, and I'm like, that's not really an ad mech thing. But I think maybe if I treat them like power coils or something and paint them more like a glowy color, that could look really cool. But that's a servitor that I'm gonna work on. Let's get the rest of this dry brushing done. Why don't I like that? I don't know, there's something about it I don't like. I think the canoptical alloy, I'll probably feel better about it later. Oh, there it is. Again, just not being aggressive enough. Yeah, I'm just not being aggressive enough. And then any bit that I end up accidentally coloring of the cloak, I'll just clean up with that third coat of Corvus Black. There we go. Yeah, I just wasn't being aggressive enough. Okay. There we go. So now you can kind of see, now it's getting that Necron sheen to it. See if we can do the same thing to this guy. There we go. It's a nice rainy night, or rainy day out. I really like hearing the sound of the rain as it falls. I can actually hear it through the headphones. It's coming down out there. Not super hard, but it's definitely coming down out there. There we go. Now that's more of the Necron sheen that I was hoping for. You can definitely see a difference now in the coloration. That's more like it. Yeah, once I darken that with Nuln Oil, it'll look good. I do think I need more Canoptic Alloy for even just this one figure, though. I did not add enough. And then I don't think I'm going to dry brush everything, all of the metal bits. What I'm going to do is I will actually go back with a paintbrush and, properly brush up some of the smaller bits. And hopefully that doesn't give them that weird glittery effect, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll do that. after I get the remainder of this dry brushed. Dry brush the face just a little bit. Yeah. That looks good. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go back with, how do I want to do this? Oh, there's a little bit of support still on there. Let's get that off. There it is. Let's go with small amount of canoptic alloy here. A little bit more speed paint, medium. And then I think I'll actually have to add more canoptic alloy to this. This is already really thin from the brush being wet. So, let's see. There we go. I think that's better. It's a little... yeah, it's a little thin. No, you know what? I'm trusting my gut on it. I'm gonna trust my gut. It's okay. Alright, let's get that cleaned off. These two brushes that I'm not gonna use for a sec. Dry them off. There we go. Cool. Alright. Let's get the teeny tiny brush. I think this is specifically a layer brush, isn't it? This isn't my nice layer brush. Where's my nice layer brush? Ah. There we go, that's more like it. Okay. Just rinse that off, getting a little wet. Okay. Here we go. Oh boy, that's already separating it out. I can see it. Yeah. This isn't usually a problem with dry brushing, but I think we might get the weird metallic fleck effect. But we'll try it. Let's see what happens. Well, it's not so bad. Okay. I think the coverage is going to be fine this way. Just got to be careful about it. Make sure to mix it every time I go to dip. There we go. Get a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that should be fine. I think we're good. Alright. Should be mixed well enough here. Just get it mixed a little further. Get the rest of it off. Alright. So I need to get in here. Around coils and the chest area. There we go. Good. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that'll work out. That'll be okay. I just need to be careful, take my time with it a little bit. Don't overdo it. And then after this, I'll do that third coat. We'll see where we stand. do that third coat, that's when I'll do a lot of like the touch-up work on the finer edges and all of that. Alright. There we go. Good. Alright. Right in the back here. Some of the areas I couldn't get with the dry brush. There we go. Okay. Good. And I think I'll go back and dry brush some of these areas in a bit. I just gotta be careful when I do so. I don't want to do that third coat, touch up everything, and then be like, oh, now I've got to go back and do it again. I've had to do that a few times with some of my models just because I overdo it, underdo it, overdo it, underdo it, and go back and forth, and that's not fun. So, just gonna be careful here. Yeah. There we go. I think that does the trick. Another little spot that I missed here. Let's get that touched up. There we go. Just a nice light coat over everything. And once I null oil this, it'll look pretty good. At least I hope. We'll see, I guess. But I think it'll be okay. Can be a little bit more lazy down here because this isn't a part of the model that most people are going to see. But there we go. Okay. So now it's got a little bit more of like a color to him. So, gotta go back with that Corvus black. Still use the small, fine layer brush for this. I'm not gonna cause any issues if I do. And make sure that I get all the flakes off. There we go. Cool. Very cool. Okay. So, a little bit more Corvus black. Okay. There we go. Don't need a ton. Just a little bit. A little bit of that speed paint medium. There, just a drop. I don't think we need to. Maybe just a little bit more thinning on that. Just the teeny tiniest bit. There we go. Okay. Now, let's touch up all those areas that I accidentally over dry brushed. Basically just a third coat at this point, which is fine. I had meant to do a third coat, so this is fine. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that fixes that. This edge is kind of a pain. There we go. Same here. This edge is kind of annoying. Just gonna have to be careful about how I do it. There we go. There we go. Same thing here. My dry brushing skills still aren't quite up to par because I can't seem to do it without getting the dry brush color in places where I don't intend to. And that does mean that after I dry brush, I have to go back and do a lot of touch-up work. But that's okay. Not a big deal. Like, this seems to be working just fine. I just need to be a little bit more careful with my touch-up. But we do have the right consistency here, which is good for the paints. Alright, let's see if I can get this without accidentally coloring in that stuff that I just went to the hassle of painting. Come on. There we go. Alright, just a little bit more. Oh boy. Alright, good. Don't need to touch that up any further. Right around the edges of the coils here. There we go. Alright. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, and then sleeves. Yeah, I think now the contrast is starting to get to the point that I can sort of make out a good difference between the parts that are unpainted and the parts that I used canoptic alloy on. So we're in a good spot there. Just a little bit more. And I think that third coat actually did wonders for everything. Okay, just a little bit on that sleeve. Good. Alright, a little bit on this sleeve. Just a little bit more. Alright. There we go. Let's get that done. If I can't see brush strokes, I know I've thinned things down right. Just don't want to see brush strokes. Again, I sort of I forgot to dust this model before I started, so obviously there's, you know, weird raised bits. You can probably see a couple of them there, but that's okay. Like, it shouldn't be too noticeable once this dries. I don't think so. So, alright, just the hood now. And then we can move on to the glowy bits. I think I probably would have been served pretty well if I had done lead belcher first, and then dry brush the canoptic alloy over it. But this is just a test model anyway, so it's not going to be... It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want to make sure that my color scheme looks good for these guys before I paint 10 of them. Like, I don't want to get halfway through painting them and be like, you know what, this is ass. I don't like this. So, okay. That's almost there. Just a little bit more touch-up work. Right on the edge of this hood. There we go. Okay. Phew, phew. Okay. I always need to remember to breathe when I'm doing like small detail work and trim, because I freak out and then I don't breathe, and that causes issues with making it look good anyway. So alright, let's get the hands, because I just realized that I did not paint the hands at all. Now, I don't know what exactly I want to do with the rifle. Gonna need to figure that out. Part of me wants to do... Maybe I'll look up, like, what Skitarii rifles look like. In fact, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look up what Skitarii rifles look like when they're normally painted, and then adjust that to be more like Necron-y. There we go. Okay, hands are painted there. Face is good. Helps that he's wearing a helmet with goggles, so I don't have to paint faces. Alright. There we go. So. Now, nice thing about contrast paints is I don't have to thin them down or anything. So, this warp lightning is going to go straight onto the bits that we want it on. We'll touch a green. Oh yeah. Make sure I get the excess off here. I don't want it flooding. Let's start with the power pack. I wonder if that's a little too green, like that's too Skaven-y green. Oh god. I'm wondering if that's too Skaven-y green. I got a little bit on the edge there. Just gonna wipe that up. There we go. It is a little Skaven-y green. What color do they usually use for... Let's take a look. Alright. Here, I'll pull this up so I can show you what I'm looking at. Oh, did that... Uh-oh. It just malfunctioned. Let's... Huh. Weird that happened. Okay, let me try and just... Capture device 2. That shouldn't happen. What happened here? Okay, it's working. So why are you not showing on here? You know what, let's just switch to cam link.
There it is. That's better. Oh, my battery is dying. That would probably make quite the difference. Okay, well, I think that Skaven bit. I think that that's a little too Skaven-y. But let me check. Window capture. Okay. We're gonna check this right here. Why am I doing that? Okay. Oh well. Jeez. Okay. We want. This gives me the most random shit. Let's go and use this. Necron. Color scheme. Okay. Let's see. Necrons. Hyperphase weapon, dynasty schemes. Cell-tech. That's usually the classic. Now what do they use for their greens? Yeah, see, this seems a little bit more like a cool tone green versus what I've got here, which is more of like a warm green, I guess. Bronze. I mean, I'm probably going to do that later. Warpstone Glow. They do use. Oh, this is Warp Lightning. I have Warpstone Glow right here. I'll have to pull it out. That does kind of make sense. Now, what do they use here? Yellow to highlight. There it is. Moot green. Hexwraith Flame. That makes sense. Okay. I think I'm gonna stick with Warp Lightning, as Skaven-y as Warp Lightning is. I just am gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with it, and then see how I feel about Hexwraith Flame later. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Alright. Then I'm gonna color in. I'm getting it on the alloy. That's just some touch up that I'll have to do back later. That's fine. Want it to look like a Necron power pack. There we go. I'll need another hit of that. Warp Lightning in a second here, but let's just get it all colored in for the most part. I mean, I do think that actually looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a little Skaven-y, which wasn't my original intention. But I think there are things I can do to that. I should probably swap out my battery. Where is the battery? Oh. It's right here. Alright, give me a second, folks. Just gonna swap that out. And then I'll set up for charging the spare I was using, so that, there we go. Okay, don't drop your battery. Come on. Yeah. There we go. Alright. back on. Get it back to live. Let's see. Is it still going? Yep, it is, but now it's out of focus. Alright. Let's get that back in focus. There we go. Yeah. So it's starting to look the way I want it to. I think it just needs additional work, some highlights later. Let's get that charged. Alright. So, second round of the warp lightning. Warp block bronze is one of my favorite colors. So, I think I just keep saying warp block bronze out of habit. Okay, let's get that dried off. Alright, just one more batch of, well, let's, just for good measure. Never hurts. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah. And then I'll just touch up the edges afterward. Actually, you know what? Now I see it. Now I see the idea here. That's a green little orb here, so I'm gonna color that in too. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Okay, now I'm starting to see the vision coming together. I like this color scheme. I think I'll really like that once it's done. Alright, so that's the power pack that we were going to do. And then the way that I'm going to do the lenses, just a dot in each. Remember to breathe, Michael. Breathing. Ah, yeah. Here we go. Okay. So now he's got green eye lenses, but they're dark. I'm going to add something to that later to actually get them brighter. But let's also get the little orb in here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see the vision here. Just getting the chest painted with the same basic sigil color. And then obviously contrast paints need a little more time to dry. But I'll have to touch this up later. Just trying to be careful to only get the sigil itself, not the surrounding armor. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Alright. So here's what it looks like now. A little bit of color to that. Just color in this just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the green lenses. Do I want to touch that? Yeah, I'll just get it a little more. There we go. Okay. And then the green back. It's actually starting to look good. Okay. And then let's see if I can do this coil here. I'm going to regret this, aren't I? Oh, okay. Remembering to breathe. Yet again. Yeah, I do think there will need to be like some lightning when I get to the highlighting. Because right now it does look a little flat. Even though this contrast paint does help with the recesses, it definitely does need a little bit more like pop to it. Right now it's not monochrome, but like the tricolor is a little dull. A little. So we'll have to go back and do some of that later. Now here, I'll do right here on this edge. Now what can I do to contrast from that green? Get a nice contrast going. There we go. Okay. So this is what we have so far. That's the base coats done. Except for the rifle. I don't want to touch the black anymore. The black looks good for my purposes, I think. Maybe a little touch-up work on the canoptic alloy. And then start highlighting and washing things. Steps that I'm not good at. The steps that I'm very much not good at. What do I want to do at this point? What do I want to do? Null oil on... the problem is if I go with null oil on the canoptic alloy, it might start looking dull to the point where it doesn't stand out enough from the black. Now, what I could do... Agrex. Agrex on the robe. null oil on the metal bits. Let's first do wildwood for the rifle. I think I'm gonna start with that, and then we'll go from there. Oh. Wildwood. Let's do that. Wildwood on the rifle. Let's see how that goes. Because, AdMech always has more of like a steampunk vibe. So the idea that maybe it's like, oh, okay, most of this rifle is made of wood, except for the bits that are like very clearly glowy bits, would be kind of a cool idea. So let's go with it. And then we'll see what I think of it after. If I don't like it, I can change it. This is my test model, so if I don't like it, I can change it. I think maybe the receiver gets a different color though, so I'll only go up to here. Basically the stock and barrel will be wood. And then the receiver, maybe I'll go with the warp block bronze. Yeah, I actually like that already. That looks good. Okay. Cool. Cool. Alright, I like that. I can dig that. So, receiver is in here. That I'll go with warp block bronze. Wildwood. Well, no, I kind of want to make it stand out, so maybe I'll go with the gold. I'll go with like a Liberator gold. Ooh, can I get in here without... Yeah, I can. Okay. So up to the receiver. Yeah, okay. I see where we're going with this. I see where we're going with this. Took me a bit, but I see it. Yeah, okay. So this is what that gun looks like now. Actually, I like that Wildwood look. Yeah, that is what I was hoping for. Perfect, okay. And then let me get the rest of this colored in. Honestly, I might not even need to touch it. The receiver might not get anything, but just that filigree on the stock will get the Liberator gold. Well, I'll probably do like lead belcher on the receiver. I think that's fine at the very least. It's just that extra little bit of contrast. Doesn't hurt nobody. There we go. That actually looks really good. Okay, I like that. I like that. This looks good. funny I mentioned Skaven. Honestly, between the Wildwood and the Warp Lightning, I feel like I'm doing like some sort of three-way monstrosity between Skaven tech, Necron tech, and Admech. And that's kind of funny. That's okay. I think it actually looks okay. It looks pretty good. Maybe that's the vibe I'll go for. Yeah, so. Now, let's see if I can get it a little bit more, there we go. Maybe I can zoom in just a little bit closer. Yeah. So you can see the barrel still has that Warp Lightning. We've got the Wildwood to give it that more like steampunk wood feel to it. Then right around the back, we've got like a Necronish power pack. The Canoptic alloy stands out. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good so far, at least for the base coat. Let's see. Also, I will go to the restroom first. I wonder if I can change the color of this. Still working on learning a lot of this stuff, but oh, I can. Paisley background. Now I'm just screwing with things for fun. Okay. Cool. I like that. That's pretty cool. I didn't know I could do that, but that's actually pretty neat. Oh, I mean, I should have figured I could do that, but, yeah. Oh, why did I move this over here? It should stay over here. Alright. Then I'll give you something to look at. Okay. It's still coming down out there. The rain is. Alright, so. This is caffeine. Always caffeine. Okay. Zoom that out a little bit. There we go. Maybe I'll do some touch-up just along the edges where I know I got, like, I can see I got a little bit of just teeny tiny amount of canoptic alloy. Honestly, this brush is probably wet enough that it doesn't even really need thinning. So, let's do just teeny tiny bit of touch-up work here. I need to do a couple of coats. Clutching up. Clutching up. The only problem is this canoptic alloy is kind of allowing that warp lightning to still show through, so I'll probably have to do a couple of coats of this. That's okay. I'm in no hurry. If I can get this paint scheme where I want it, then it means that I can do these later. And I can do all 10 of them and feel good about them. This hasn't taken me all that long, I don't think. What, we've been live for an hour? Yeah, that's pretty good. Considering how slow I am. Okay. Just a couple of coats. Yeah, I can still see the warp lightning underneath. I don't like it, but that's just the perfectionist in me. I want clean lines. I want perfect clean lines. Now the question is how I'm going to brighten some of the areas on the power orbs and stuff, because I do want to brighten those just a little bit more. Clutching up again. Okay. I'm doing it again. Okay, that's better. It's looking cleaner now, but I'm gonna give that a sec to dry and then let it yeah. Okay. In the meantime, I think I'll try that Agrax on the coat. I don't know how that's gonna go, but we'll try it. So where's my Agrax? There it is. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to take some Mechanicus Standard Gray and just highlight the wrinkles on the coat a little bit. Let's see if that helps. Alright, where's my Mechanicus Standard Gray? There it is. Do I have a mixing ball in here? I do not. Or do I? So just really... No, I don't have a mixing ball in here. Okay. covered my hands in canoptic alloy somehow. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. If I'm gonna do highlighting, I should probably switch to a different brush. There we go. Just a little bit here. Not a ton. Just enough for my highlights. And then I can probably just thin this down with water. Yeah, there we go. Okay, get most of it off here. I just want gentle highlights. Somehow I feel like this is going to be a bad idea, but we're going to do it anyway. Side of the brush. Just very light, clean highlights. You know, I actually don't hate that. I will say, I don't hate that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stick to that. Yeah, I actually like that quite a bit. And then around the edges of the coat. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's a little thick. It's okay. It doesn't matter that much. Once I bring in the agrax, it'll sort of blend it. But a little bit along the edges, just with the side of the brush. Yeah, I do like that. I think I'll just be a little more careful with... Okay. Well, this brush is old and it's kind of fraying a little bit, and that's causing the highlights to not look quite as clean. Maybe I should switch to a different one. Which one is this? This is the old Citadel layer that I picked up when I first got into the hobby. I should probably switch to a different one. But let's first just finish these highlights. Thin highlight. There's a little bit of fuzz on the brush. Yeah, I could dig that. Just as long as I'm doing it thin. There we go. Yeah, I dig that. Okay. A little bit. Alright. Just a little bit here. And I think the hood might be the hardest one for me to highlight. That might be the bit that I have a little trouble highlighting. But just a very light touch will do it. saying this more for myself than anything else. There we go. Okay, just a little bit more here.
Oh, that turned off again. There we go.
Alright. Remembering to breathe. Oh, that was too thick. That was a little too thick. You can actually see it. Oh, I don't like that. It's okay. I'll go back and touch it up a little bit. Side of the brush, Michael. Side of the brush. There. Okay. Maybe along the sleeves too, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Okay. That is definitely right along the edges. Right along this edge too. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Okay. Now the bit that I was actually worried about. Now the hood. I hate doing faces of any kind. Even if he's not actually a face, he's just a helmet and a hood. Okay. Here we go. You know what? I don't hate that either. I think that actually looks okay. For the most part. I think I smudged it a little bit. That's okay. I think those highlights do bring out a little bit of something there. So, okay. I can breathe a little bit. Let's do the... Where did I put the Agrax? Right here. Agrax. Okay. Not a ton. Just a little bit. Light highlight. Or a light shade. Oh yeah. Okay. Into the recesses. Okay. You know what? I, once again, do not hate that. I think it gives a little bit of good contrast. Yeah. I hope I shook that up properly. I don't know if I shook that up enough. If this ends up all glossy because I didn't shake it up enough, I'm gonna be really sad. Oh boy. Okay. No, I think I did shake it up properly because we've still got it settling in the recesses and not giving it that weird, gross sheen that I've gotten before. So, okay. I do kind of dig that. That does look good. Just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Alright. See that on the sleeves and the hood next. Sleeves first. Did I do it on the other sleeve? Yeah, I did. I mean the highlights. Did I do the highlights on the other sleeve? Yes, I did. Alright, just a little bit in there too. Cool. Then right here. I don't need to wash anything that got a contrast paint, so the wildwood and the warp lightning we don't need to do anything with. Okay, now the hood. Oh boy. Oh wait. This is the spot on the sleeve. Alright, hood time. Okay. Alright. That is starting to dry, the shade is, and it doesn't look too shiny, which, thank goodness, I was kind of worried about. Oh no. Oh no. Spoke too soon. Oh no. Oh. Well, at least I know for the next model, because I don't hate the idea of the Agrax. I actually think it's a good idea. I overdid it. Or not overdid it. I didn't shake it enough. Like, you can see it's got that sheen to it on the side. It's alright. You know what? No. Not gonna... We're good. Doesn't matter. We're good. Let's shake up the Nuln Oil properly now. Before we do anything else with any of this. I just think probably for the best that I just keep at it. Didn't shake that up. That's okay. We're good. I did it again. Okay. These shades require so much more shaking than your average paint. So let's just do that. I'm gonna have to sit here for a bit and just shake this up. Shaking, 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 shaking. Alright. That's actually looking better. Alright. So, Nuln Oil on the Canoptic alloy. Not a ton of it, just a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Actually, I don't even hate the look of the drying Agrax. I think, as annoyed as I am that it's getting that little bit of a sheen to it, I can be okay with it. I'm not actually that upset about it. Now that's probably just me coping about the whole thing, but well. Alright. Here. Null oil.
Oh. There we go.
Just a little bit of null oil, and we're going to get that in those recesses. See if we can't make this work. Okay. You know what? I don't hate that. That is helping quite a bit. Okay. I can dig that. I can go a little heavier on it, and it'll make this whole thing stand out a bit more. I actually like that. Okay. Cool. Cool. Alright. Shake that up a little bit more. Got just a little bit on the brush. There we go. Okay. Well, we're getting somewhere. Let's get it down in this wiring here. Let it pool in those recesses. Get a little bit more in here. And down in here, where it can be a little bit more sloppy. Yeah, honestly, that brings out the canoptic alloy really well. I am glad that I chose to do the null oil. I mean, this is basically like painting an Acheron. You know, like it's the same colors, it's the same basic idea. So obviously I should have like figured that the null oil would help, because null oil is usually what you toss on TV. Here. A little bit here. Some on there. Yeah. I think that was the right decision. Okay. Need a little bit more on there. Just get off most of it, but I do want it to pool a little bit. So, let's get more. There we go. That's better. There we go. Yeah. A little bit more null oil right here. And here. Yeah, that actually made a big difference. Okay. Now it looks more how I want it to. I think I can safely say that this is getting close to done. Check my texts. It is 10 a.m. where I am. Okay. I need to brighten. I don't think I need to brighten the backpack. Well, I could probably do with brightening it a little bit. I just don't want to screw it up. And I'm afraid of screwing up. I think everybody is a little bit afraid of, like, taking, like, a good... something that you feel okay about, and then trying something wacky out there and then screwing it up. Like, that's a pretty normal feeling, but, like... Okay, right, I need to get lead belcher on that metal bit there. Or... Warp lock bronze? No, that's not a good idea. Canoptic alloy. A little bit of canoptic alloy here. Just onto the receiver like I said I would. And then I'll toss some Nuln Oil on top of that. So let's get that done. Oh, that already looks better. Wow. Alright. I actually don't think I'm going to, like, toss Nuln Oil on top of the receiver. I think I'm probably better off leaving it. My reasoning is, at least that way, it contrasts that little bit from the rest of the model. How do I feel about this? How do we feel about this? I like it at the moment. I think the only thing is I want to do something to brighten the lenses. I don't think that they stand out enough, the eye lenses. Like, I'm actually fine with kind of the glow or the coloring for, like, the glowy bits. Let me see if I have any of that, what did they call it? Warpstone glow? Oh, let's see. Warpstone glow. Oh, where's my green? Warpstone glow. Don't have any... I don't have a mixing bowl in. And then maybe I can just... I don't think I should touch much else of that. I think I'm probably better off, like, leaving a lot of it. I think I'm actually better off, like, leaving a lot of it. Let's get some Warpstone glow onto the eye lenses, maybe on the edges of... onto the edges of the orbs. Maybe press the edges of those eye lenses just to make them stand out a little bit.
Oh, already? Wow. That really does turn on fast.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I do think they stand out a lot more now. Let's try right around the edges of the orb here as well. And maybe right around the edges of the symbol. And then I'm just going to put a streak of the stuff onto one of these orbs, just to give it that little bit of like a glowy effect. Same thing here, just a little streak of it. There we go. And maybe just a teeny tiny bit in this recess here. Right around the edges of the orb. Give it the appearance of glowing a little bit brighter there.
I mean,
I don't know if I'm actually doing anything. I see a teeny tiny difference when I'm staring at it face on this close, but I don't know if I'm actually doing anything. But we're just going to do it anyway. For fun. For fun. That's what this is all about. Okay. I do think that helped the lenses stand out a bit, though. So we're getting somewhere with that. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm good to leave this guy as is. Not everything, especially not like a battle line troop, needs to have all of these details popping out everywhere. And I think if I overdo it, all I'm going to do is not just frustrate myself, but I could ruin the simplicity of the model. And I don't want to do that. I want it to stand on its own merits and be a good-looking model, and that's good enough for me. I'm not going for Golden Demon level painting here. I'm just trying to make something that would look good on the tabletop, battle-ready, So I'm just going to dull oil just a few more bits of this, and then call it at that with this model. Maybe I'll make myself some breakfast and come back and we'll work on the next set. Darken just these little bits more, get it in the recesses, give it some contrast. Probably do this part of the face as well. And then anything else that needs it. This cable right here probably needs a little bit of it. And I think with that, I'm safe to call that guy done. I think that is... It's not perfect by any means. I especially could have shaken up that Agrax a lot more. But I'm satisfied with the color scheme. And the whole point of this was to test the color scheme, see if I was okay with the way that the color scheme turned out. So I'm satisfied with that. I used, what, 5 colors total? Wait, what? 6? 7. 7 colors total. 4 base colors. A couple of highlights, just the Mechanicus Gray and the Warp Stone Glow, and then 2 contrasts. And he came out pretty well. You know, like, I'm not upset at this, and I think I could have been upset at it if I overdid it. Again, it's a battle line troop. This isn't going to be something where I need to, like, put in my all of this work character model. Like, I've got calls sitting there. Right now, like, yeah, I'd put in my all and I'd be like, okay, no, I want this to look really, really good because he's going to stand out as a centerpiece model, essentially. Like, yeah, that's one thing. But for this, I don't need him to stand out. I just want clean lines, which is why I'm sort of, like, touching up some parts here. Maybe the only thing I can think of is now... Yeah, I will actually go back and just, like, bring those highlights on the cloak back up, the ones that I did with the Mechanicus Standard Gray. Maybe that's it. That's all I can think of. And then I'm going to call it done and say, you know what? Good enough for me. It's a battle line troop. It by no means needs to be perfect. We're better off just letting it be and saying, okay, you know what? This works. This is good. This is good. I can be satisfied with this. And then as I do more of them, I think I'll get a better feel for what exactly I want and where. Like, oh, okay, like, I can highlight this bit to bring it out a little bit more. And, you know, I think that'll help me feel a little bit good about the whole thing, you know? Just need a tiny bit more kinetic alloy. Just the tiniest bit. Just for this touch-up work. Last bit of touch-up right here. There. Okay. Boy, that was 2 hours. Definitely not the fastest I have ever done, but I do think it looks good. I think that... Let's see if I can get this in focus a little bit, and then I'll turn it around. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I think for a standard Mechanicus troop, this one looks pretty good to be inspired by, like, a Necron sort of thing. You know, like, this is to be inspired by Necrons and be like a Xenarite Skitarii. Like, this looks good. I can be satisfied with this. I think, you know, like, some of this is dust right here. Some of it is just, like, 3D printing, like, probably the remainder of the supports. I could have sanded it down. I'll probably sand it down for the other ones so it's more smooth looking. But from 3 feet away, if I stand and, like, look at that thing, no, it looks good. Like that, I'm quite happy with that, and I think I can be satisfied with the direction that I went on it. So, battle ready at least. Well, now I need to do the base, obviously, but I hate basing. I'm just gonna leave that for right now, and then I'll do the bases once I have all of them painted. So that's good. That's done. I could do one more of them, because I have one more of them here. But I don't really want to at the moment. I want to test out one of my other color schemes that I was going to do. Where's my Skitarii? There he is. This Van or Ranger, this Ranger here would be in the color that I'd want to, basically the same color as the Marshal. I'd do the Vanguard or the Rangers in. Let me dust this guy off because I don't want to make the same mistake a second time. So dust him off. This is an actual Vanguard, so, you know. We're gonna take this guy and make sure that his not covered in dust. World. What is this? Who's calling me? Nope, report junk. Okay. Basically, I'm just dusting off this model. I'm not dry brushing. I'm literally just dusting off the model to make sure it looks like most of the dust is off before I start the process of painting this time, because I don't want to have to deal with that crap that happened before. Uneven textures and all that, so. There we go. Cool. Oh, there's a little bit of dust that got under the primer. Need to take care of that. There we go. That's better. Anywhere else? Good there. See a little bit more dust here. Basically, some of the places that are just really hard to reach. Sometimes it's just easier for me to use the clippers to just scrape out some of the dust. Good. Okay, is that everything? It looks like most of it. Yeah. Alright. Pretty sure that's all of it. Alright. That obviously is a Skitarii Ranger. Ow. Ooh, ow. put this guy. Oh, no, that does not fit in there. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, no, I guess it's the large one that fits into this weird tiny one. Okay. Got a set of dry brushes at different sizes to let me... Does this even fit in this one? Hang on. Yeah, it does. Okay. I think this is two. Yeah, it was the other way around. There we go. Okay. How did I mix this last time? I need to start writing down how I mixed that blue. Because I used that blue. And then I don't write down how I mixed it. Because I know what colors I used. I just don't remember the proportions exactly, so I'm going to have to do some experimenting. Ugh. I don't mind experimenting, it's just getting it consistent. Okay, I'm zoning out. I could do either the Marshall or not the Marshall. Well, I could finish up the Marshall. Obviously, there's plenty of the stuff on that Marshall that isn't painted. But I think I'm going to take a break for right now. And then